Hey guys, how are you? I am back. You know what I'm saying? The weird part about this, like I'm being a creeper. But anyway, I just wanted to come here and do real talk time, okay? Seriously, real talk time, real life time. This is all YouTube shit stuff to the side. This is adult time. This is not based upon the children. What's that on my door? Ugh, I don't like the way that look in that corner. Ugh, nah. Anyway, you've been in the house for 8 years with a cheap landlord and a slumlord. You know your house. You know, like it's awful that you got to live like this. And this is the point. This is what I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, I'm going to be talking about cheap landlords living and the price, living in today's society, trying to pay rent, trying to scratch and survive, trying to live, robbing Peter to pay Paul, doing all those things, okay? Well, here's the deal. So I live in a town or a city, whatever you want to call it, where it was cheap when I first moved over here. Okay, when I lived all the time, I lived in Marin County. I was on housing. Okay, now I'm not ashamed to admit it. I am happy that I'm not on housing anymore. I prayed to get housing back. Unfortunately, they told me that we made too much. So I was like, whatever that meant, you know what I'm saying? And then I started to think, you know what? I don't really want to be on housing. And the reason why I don't want to be on housing is because, first of all, housing want to know too much. They want to know who did it, what for, and why. They want to know your income, whose other income, they other income, why. They want to know what you're doing. Do you got cars? Do you got a bank account? Do you got this, that, and the third? Don't get in my comments and say, well, those are the things that they are asking you. That's my eyeshadow I was testing. Those are the things that they are to ask you. I understand all that, but at the end of everything, let the shit hit the fan, and housing authority will not help you. First of all, when you go to any housing authority, they're not doing anything in that housing authority. And there may be some people that might come behind this video and say, I work at the housing authority. I don't do that. Okay, you don't. Whoop-de-doo, thank you. But there are some people that's in housing authority and that just sit around and do nothing. They're sitting behind the desk. They got a Coca-Cola or a Sprite sitting right here. They got food sitting right here. They got bag of chips sitting right there. They got papers piled up to the brim. They're not doing what they're supposed to do or anything like that. A long time ago, hold on, I'm going to need to get my charger. Deja. Go by the blue chair and bring my charger. There's people. Long time ago, I used to have to deal with the housing authority. Okay, I used to deal with the housing authority when I lived in Marin. And anything that you do when you live in an apartment complex, first of all, you got to make sure that you don't burn no bridges with anyone there, the workers, your landlord, or anybody, because when you do, they will bring everything that you've ever done, small stuff, big stuff, to the table when you taking them to court. So when I lived in Marin, I went through hell. Okay, I had things. I was in situations where, you know, my husband, he's a cool person, but if you mess around with him in ways where he feel like he really needs to say something to you, then he's gonna always say something to you. It don't matter what you say. You know what I'm saying? So while we were living there, you know, it was small things like the maintenance guys would want to just drop in and do little small stuff. And while he was there by himself, he didn't go for that. We've had a time where the maintenance man came in. He didn't even knock. Okay? And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, well, I'm not, baby, you didn't knock. Get your ass up out of here because you're not checking them. Well, I'm supposed to. No, absolutely not. You're going to check it when I tell you you can check it. They put that on file. Okay. I got locked out of my, no, he got locked out of the house when I was on vacation, going somewhere with my family. They put that on record. Okay? So when things got heated between him and the maintenance people and they decided to kick me out, evict me, yes, they did. They couldn't wait. They couldn't wait. The minute some jumped off, he went through what he went through with them, the maintenance people, and the security people was knocking at my door 10 minutes later with the eviction notice, honey. And so I tried to take all that to court. I didn't know what the hell was going on with housing. I didn't know nothing about it. I got evicted anyway. They boarded up my house. I went in, I tried to get everything out of my house. They followed me over there. When I got to my house, there was a board on the door, in front of the door, like I literally was going to go in there and just live, okay? And they boarded it up and took the door off the hinges, took it with them, and let me do what I had to do. Honey, that was hard. That was hard, not knowing where you were going to go, not having no place to go. I mean, you were already set in stone, so therefore I could only fit a certain amount in the truck because I couldn't afford a bigger one. I left behind dressers, I left behind beds, I left behind all the kids' beautiful toys. I left behind beautiful wine glasses because I didn't have nowhere to put it. We couldn't afford storage, we couldn't afford nothing. Now, I bet you're wondering why I told you all of that. I'm telling you all of that because let me tell you something. You don't need housing, okay? Because when stuff start crumbling, you'll lose everything, okay? When I went to that court hearing with them between me and the housing authority and my apartment complex, they had everything that I'd done from the time I moved in up until the time I got evicted. They came in, they lied. I sat in front of the housing authority director of Marin, and her name was Barbara. I'll never forget her. She was a big white woman. And I said, I need my Section 8. This is when I didn't know that lower rent, housing, whatever, not housing, but lower rent existed. You didn't have to rely on Section 8 in order to get by. So I'm in there and I'm crying. I had a what do you call those people? Legal aid lady. She didn't help. You know why she came? I don't know. And so I was sitting there and I cried to him, and she told me, she said, tell me why I should let you keep your Section 8. I said, first of all, I'm a good person. We know that. There good people exist everywhere. You're not the only one. Okay. And then I also told her, I said, I have 3 children. At that time, I only had 3 children. 2 of my children, I said, and they were disabled. They really were. 2 of my children are disabled. Everything that make their world go round and everything that I have out here is out here. So resources, everything, workers, everything. I need this. I can't afford to lose it. And that lady looked at me and she said, well, you know what? That's up to the, whatever, to determine. I don't know what she said. And then she was like, I can't do anything about that. And she was like, you should have thought about that when you guys were doing the things that you did. And I'm like, whatever, I didn't do anything. You know, at this point, I'm trying to be nice with the people and I'm not trying to go overboard with them. And so she's like, well, you know, I can't do nothing for you. And these are the things you should. What makes you think that I should believe you and this, that, and the third? And I'm like, wow, really? You're really sitting here and you want me to beg for housing? And then I'm like, okay. And then she's like, what else did she say? Because, she was like,